it's Ashen Wolf here. I'm an extrasensory coach, shaman, completion process, and parts work facilitator. And today's video is going to be all about shame. I'm going to teach you how to deal with other people's shame, you shaming other people, and most importantly, how to deal with your own shame. So the first thing to understand when it comes to shame is that is literally this person inside of you. I want you to think of it as this little 2-year-old that's maybe having a fit and she's angry or he's angry and she doesn't know what to do. That is because the part of us, the part of our emotions that feels shame, that thinks shameful thoughts, is primordial in nature. It is our inner child, it is our subconscious, but most of all, it is a part of our psyche that is based on survival. It is based on pure survival instinct. This is because if you're feeling shame, you feel unsafe. If someone is shaming you, they feel unsafe with you. If you're shaming someone else, you feel unsafe with them. That's all it is. You can literally see our shame body as this person that kind of keeps you prisoner. And what I mean by that is when you're stuck in your shame thoughts, you're a prisoner there. It's really hard to even notice you're there, notice how to get out, or do anything specific about it. What we need to do is start by learning and having a deeper awareness when we actually go into our shame thoughts. You can literally think about it as if this person inside of you has kidnapped you and is holding you prisoner or holding you hostage. And we're not thinking about it this way to put a negative persona to the shame itself. We're going to talk more about that. Because again, it's a 2-year-old having a fit that feels unsafe. That doesn't sound very malicious now, does it? We're not talking about being prisoner by our shame or being kidnapped by our shame in order to blame the shame or make the shame wrong or bad. It's already doing that on its own. We're doing this to understand that we literally become prisoner there. We literally get stuck in this construct reality where all of a sudden everything's connected to shame. Every thought is connected to shame. Every thought is more shame. Have you ever noticed how many people who like to shame themselves then shame themselves for shaming themselves? And it's this endless vicious cycle. It's very hard to get out of the shame. It's very hard to escape the shame. It's very hard to make it any different or think any thought that is different at all. If we can first understand this, our internal hostage is the vulnerability within us, and our internal kidnapper is the protector part that is shame. And the protector part that is feeling shame needs to have a deeper awareness about why we feel unsafe. So whatever you're shaming yourself about, you need to ask yourself, why, if this thing were true about me, does it make me unsafe? And then you want to distinguish what is actually true about the shame and what is actually not true. If we can accept what is actually true about the shame, we're going to find deep relief. That means that if I'm ashamed because I stink right now and I don't have access to deodorant because I'm out in a public place, I can't really change the fact that I stink right now, but I can accept that I stink. I can accept that there's nothing that I can do about it. And that's actually gonna help you find relief. We can also speak to the shame about the things that we're ashamed about. For instance, maybe you are ashamed because you don't make a lot of money, right? You can find reasons why it's a good thing that you don't make a lot of money. You can find reasons why it's a good thing that you're experiencing whatever thing you're shaming yourself about. And this is not to lie to yourself, but it's to find acceptance and understanding about your experience with that contrast in your life. And it's not to gloss over or lie about the aspects of not making a lot of money or the shame that is not a good thing. It's to try to find acceptance with our personal journey of diversity and to let it be okay. You can ask questions to your friends and you can really journal about, how is this thing that I'm experiencing that I'm so ashamed of an okay thing? How is it not a bad thing? How is it serving me? How is it something that I want to own? How can I feel relief about it? So again, the shame body is really this primordial inner child that is creating strategies and trying to survive. Shame is just a strategy to survive. If I'm saying this thing is bad because it makes me feel unsafe, then I all of a sudden feel safer because now I'm attacking that thing that I think is going to hurt me. If I'm making it bad, that's an attack against it. It's a push away against it. And therefore, this is my strategy of attack in order to defend myself and keep myself safe and protect me. That's all it is. We started shaming each other in society back to the beginning of time because people were making each other feel unsafe. Any instance where somebody would make somebody feel unsafe would turn into shame. And this happened within the greater society. So society at large started to become afraid of things. And so shame was involved. Society at large started to become afraid of infidelity because it meant more sexually transmitted diseases, and it meant more children, and it meant that we couldn't trust the sanctity of marriage, which means we couldn't trust monogamy. So that made people unsafe. So we started to shame infidelity. If I shame people that are overweight, maybe I'm scared or feeling unsafe that maybe I might be out of control of my own body, or I might be out of power. That if they're overweight, then maybe I have a fear or I have an unsafety around feeling out of control with my body and my ability to control reality. If I'm shaming people because they're sleeping around, then maybe I feel unsafe that they're making monogamy this thing that is devalued. And I really need monogamy to be valued because I need a partner that is going to be monogamous with me, so I feel safe that that person is not going to leave me or abandon me or go to someone else. This is why monogamy exists. It's a sense of security. That relationship is a sense of security of, I'm going to only have this with one person. And it's also a protection. Again, if they're having sex with other people, then they could bring back STDs. They could end up having a child with another person. And they could leave me for that person. This is why monogamy is a thing of security. I want you to reverse that and look at, what am I really at the core afraid that that means about me or my life? You want to reverse it to find the core foundation to, how do I feel unsafe about the thing I'm shaming? And what do I think it means about me, my life, or my worldview, if that were true? This will help you find some compassion and understanding for yourself, that fear and that unsafety. And if you can help that inner child, that unsafety, feel some relief and some safety, you won't feel the need to shame other people so badly in this area. If other people are shaming you, you want to do the same exercise, but in reversed. How are you possibly making them feel unsafe without your intent, without it being your fault? And part of it could be your responsibility or your fault. How are you making it so this person is unsafe? If you can understand how they're feeling unsafe, you can speak to the part of them that maybe feels unsafe, or create a different experience of interacting with that person when they're shaming you. If you can be compassionate to the fact that they're feeling unsafe, your interaction with them is going to be very different. You can have a deeper sense of compassion, and you're also going to be less wounded by it because you can start seeing the inner child having a tantrum instead of feeling as threatened by them. Shame is literally this push away that says you're bad, you're not good. And at its core, the survival instinct of shame, when we are being shamed, it's a complete threat to our survival, because shame means that you're not good the way that you are. You're not acceptable, you're not okay, you're bad. And that means that you won't be accepted into society, you won't be accepted by society, and you will be shunned. We need society to survive. We need people to survive. We are a tribal species. If we don't have society, if we don't have community, if we don't have people, we would die. Humans are developmentally dependent on other people to survive. And it's very hard to literally survive as an adult on your own if you are completely alone in the woods and you don't have society. Understanding that it is this like literal threat within us is gonna help you to understand how to speak to this part of you a lot better, and it's gonna help you understand to take it a little bit more seriously when you're feeling this way, because shame is no joke. We need to sink into our shame. We need to see our shame for what it is. And we need to be with that inner child and speak to it and say, I'm so sorry that you're feeling this way. We never try to say you're wrong to the shame or be mean with the shame. That's just shaming shame. We want to see that shame, that kidnapper, as an inner child that's in pain. And we want to speak to that aspect of ourselves with love and compassion, and bring it even closer and understand it fully. What has it been through to be going through that? We can take a mirror and see our shame through our eyes on our face, what it looks like, and we can feel that emotion in our body and just be present with it and let it shift. And we can slowly find acceptance for these things that we're shaming ourselves for and figure out how to become safer by finding the root of the unsafety, by the root of the lack of acceptance, and building the opposite experience slowly. If I know why I'm unsafe, then I'm probably going to have some ideas on how to create safety. If I know what I don't accept about myself and why I have resistance to it, then I'm probably going to know how to find relief and acceptance for that thing. So you need to find the foundation of that lack of acceptance, the foundation for that unsafety, and then allow yourself to rewire and give the opposite experience. For example, if in a moment I feel shamed because somebody is judging me and I am relying on their approval, I need to ask in that moment, how can I give myself approval? How can I seek approval from people who want to give it to me? How can I reframe the meaning of their disapproval to mean something else? If it's a family member, maybe that person is really showing disapproval because they're actually worried about you. Maybe they're actually concerned about your safety, and maybe they actually are doing this from a place of care. We can call in a safe support figure or a person in our life that feels genuinely loving, whether they're real, whether they're a fantasy of our imaginations, a character from a book that we've seen, a spirit guide, an animal. We can call in a safe support figure to be with us and give us acceptance and approval. If we can think about all the people that will give us approval, and if we can open ourselves up to how we can get approval, then one person disapproving us is not going to be as much of a threat to our survival in that moment. If you're looking for ways to give yourself acceptance, for example, how is my weight serving me? Well, it's serving me because actually my weight thinks it's keeping me safe from sexual abuse. Actually, my weight is a wake-up call to humanity, that humanity at large is out of alignment with food and also with health. We need to hold our shame. We need to give our shame love, and we need to spend time sinking in and being with our shame. The more safety we can give ourselves, the less shame will feel like it is keeping you hostage.